Hello and welcome to another episode of the Common Man's Take on Sports with Kevin and
Quentin.
Before we get started, let's talk about Mac Daddy's Barbecue and Comfort Food. If you haven't tried their barbecue, you should head on down to 1400 East Maryland Street and give them a try. They're open Sundays 2 to 5:30 p.m. You can order for a pickup or you can just drop in and order a plate. They cater just about any event if you call ahead and schedule. They have a Facebook and Instagram page that you can go and look. I'm sorry, that address is 1400 West Maryland Street. You can go to their Facebook page and kind of see some of the food that they cook. They have pictures of it and a couple items on the menu. They have a pork butt for $30, a whole brisket for $120, a slab of ribs for $25, 2 pounds of sausage for $20, a whole chicken for $15, a plate with 1 meat and 3 sides for $15, or a plate with 2 meats and 3 sides for $20. So head on down to Mac Daddy's Barbecue. If you haven't been there, you should give it a try. It is good. You will like it, and it is the best barbecue on the block. So head on down there and give them a try. So let's talk about the big news, Quentin, that just got released today. Dame Lillard finally got traded. And it wasn't to the Miami Heat, was it? Who did he get traded to?
No, sir, it was to the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's right, he got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And I would bet that he's probably pretty happy with that because the Milwaukee Bucks are absolutely a contender. And the best part about that for Dame Lillard was that they didn't have to gut their roster or mortgage their present to get him. The trade is a 3-team trade between the Blazers, the Suns, and the Bucks. And so the deal will send Drew Holiday to Portland from Milwaukee, DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix to Portland, and Yusuf Nurkic from the Blazers to the Suns. So basically the Blazers and Suns are swapping big men, and Drew Holiday is going to Portland. And of course, Dame Lillard will go to Milwaukee. And then Milwaukee will give Portland a 2029 first-round pick and 2 unprotected first-round pick swaps in 28 and 30. So they didn't even mortgage their recent futures. They're way out there in 2029 is the first pick that they'll give up for the Dame Lillard trade, and then 28 and 30 are both pick swaps. So I think this is actually a pretty good trade because everybody gets a little bit of value out of here. Portland gets to build around their young roster, and they get a kind of a veteran big man in Ayton to go with their rookies. And then Phoenix unloads DeAndre Ayton's contract due to the fact that they have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and just picked up Bradley Beal in the offseason. So they needed to offload one of those contracts to stay under the new salary cap. So everybody kind of got something out of this deal that they needed to do. So I'm going to let you go first. What do you think about this deal of Dame Lillard going to Milwaukee? How do you think this is going to affect the East and the NBA in general?
Well, I think this is going to affect the East because now we've talked about a couple episodes ago how the Celtics trade away 2 great defenders. Marcus Smart was a great defender and a great scorer, and they traded away Grant Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Celtics probably won't be at the top of the East Conference. So now that Damian Lillard's here, this is going to really affect teams in the East to try harder now to get that number 1 spot, because Milwaukee's already got 2 superstars, Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And now that they're adding Damian Lillard, who is a great shooter, this is gonna make a great team. This is gonna make a great Milwaukee team. And I mean, we've all seen Dame play, and he's a really good shooter. And I think this is gonna really impact on the East because, so they got swept by Miami last year. Now I think it's gonna be different. Now I think they should be title favorites because of how the deal worked out. So I think giving away Drew Holiday was good. I think that Lillard is better than Holiday, so that was a great deal. That was a positive trade right there. This is gonna really affect the East a lot because the Celtics, they had two great players, two great defenders that they had last year, and they gave up. So this is gonna really be a challenge for more teams, and this is. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks are not gonna be joking around anymore. Now, if you face Dame in Milwaukee, it's gonna be a tough match. You're probably gonna lose. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be that tough of a matchup in the East. I think it's just gonna be Milwaukee at number 1 right now. This is. This looks like a position where Milwaukee gets back to their NBA championship form that they were in 2021 where they won the championship.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. So you're right. Milwaukee gets to keep their core of Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez, and they actually have a pretty decent bench. And then they just added Dame Lillard to that core. And yes, they lose a defender in Drew Holiday, but I think they have players who can cover that because they still have Jay Crowder, who's a good defender. They still have several guys on there that can help in that department when Dame Lillard swaps out. They have Bobby Portis, so they're okay there. They can manipulate that lineup to help cover down for Dame a little bit. Not that Dame doesn't try on defense, but he's not the greatest defender. But you just you put instant offense with a team that already had some pretty good scoring. So now you have Chris Middleton, who's shown that he can hit some big shots sometimes, with Dame Lillard, who has absolutely shown he can hit big shots sometimes, actually most of the time, and with Giannis. And then you put in Brook Lopez in that group. That is a solid core right there. That is, Milwaukee is looking for another championship, and I'd say that they're on the right path. They knew they had to do something because Denver looked basically unbeatable last year. Denver looked good, and it's an arms race right now, right? So Milwaukee knew they had to do something to match Denver if they can make it back to the playoffs, and they did. They would absolutely be able to match Denver's shooting with that. So I like this move by Milwaukee. Actually, I love this move by Milwaukee because it makes them a lot better. They get an A+ for this, pulling this off. And I know that even though Dame probably wanted to go to Miami because he's friends with Jimmy Butler, I'm gonna tell you right now, once that season starts and Milwaukee's rolling up the wins, he ain't gonna care no more. If he gets that ring in Milwaukee, he'll forget about Miami. I guarantee it, because he'll love playing with Giannis. Giannis is a tough player. We've seen it time and time again. He's a winner, and Dame will enjoy playing with him and Chris Middleton and the rest of that team. I think that's a perfect spot for Dame. He landed exactly where he should have been. I didn't think Miami was necessarily a good spot for him, even though that's where he wanted to go, but I think Milwaukee is the perfect spot for him. I think he'll fit right into their scheme and how they do things.
Yeah, I can't argue with that on this one. I mean, I think right now there's only about a month left of waiting for the NBA season, and I think that he will probably get into that offensive scheme. And with Giannis is a great player. Middleton's a great player. Now they're adding a great superstar. This is going to be really good. I give them a big upgrade for this. I mean, this is a very big upgrade for them, and I think that Milwaukee will have a great season this year. And I gotta agree with you on this one. If he gets a ring in Milwaukee, he will forget about ever going to Miami Heat. If he gets a ring in there, I bet he'll just throw that out of the window. Because if he wins, I'm just... Because if he
Let's face it, winning solves all problems, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. He'll. I said it too. He will forget all about Miami. He's gonna like it in Milwaukee. I guarantee it.
Yep. He's gonna really like it.
Yeah, I love this move by Milwaukee. I think it's the perfect move, and they did it without mortgaging the present. Like they can continue for years to come. They have a couple of years to convince Dame to stay. Because I think he has 3 years left on his contract, so that's absolutely the perfect move for them because they have 3 years to sell Lillard, 3 years to sell Dame Lillard. The idea of staying there and playing with Chris and Giannis long term, right? And so that's perfect for them. I definitely like this move. So if we want to. I want to shift gears a little bit for the WNBA. So, the Sun and Liberty played yesterday, and the Liberty avenged their loss. They won 84-77. Breanna Stewart was still a no-show in that game. She had 11 points and 11 rebounds and 5 assists. She was 1 of 4 from 3-point, 3 of 13 field goal. So they avenged their loss against the Connecticut Sun, so that series is now tied 1-1. And then we go over to the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Wings, and Asia Wilson does it again. She drops 30 points and 11 rebounds, 10 of 18 from the floor, and she was 10 of 10 from the free throw line. So perfect from the free throw line. And she willed her team to victory again, 91-84. Asia will. If you haven't watched the NBA, the WNBA, and you're kind of on the fence, I'm telling you, watch the Las Vegas and Dallas series because Asia Wilson is an exciting player to watch. She is killing it right now in the playoffs. She's been killing it in the playoffs. She is rolling everybody up. And the Las Vegas Aces are on a roll right now. If I had to take a pick currently, I would pick the Aces to win the WNBA championship because Asia Wilson is playing like a woman possessed. She's unstoppable right now. Nobody can stop her, and she is just on a roll.
Yeah. She's really on a roll. She leads the 2023 postseason because she averages 29 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so that really shows you that she's a really good player. She's also great at rebounds. She is third with 10.8 rebounds per game.
Yep.
So that shows you that she's a great rebounder too. So
Yeah, she is playing at an elite level right now. There's no doubt about that.
yeah, she's first in blocks with 3.5 per game in the postseason. So she is killing it right now.
Yep.
Wow, she is just killing it.
If you're on, I'm telling you, if you're on the fence about watching the WNBA, watch the Las Vegas Aces game. Watch Asia Wilson. You will enjoy watching her play. It's a thing of beauty to watch her play. She is a very, very good player. She's playing at an elite level, and she is killing them out there. They can't stop her. Let's move on to the MLB current wild card standings. Man, it's coming down to the wire now.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore, Texas, and Minnesota are all in the American League, of course. Tampa Bay is in for the wild card. Toronto has now separated theirself. And let's take a minute to think about that. So you have Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto all from the same division who are about to make the playoffs. And you have Houston sneaking in there in the last wild card spot. Seattle's right behind them. Houston's 86 and 72. Seattle's right behind them at 85 and 72. So Seattle does have an opportunity to possibly bump them, but that's it. The rest of the teams are set now. You're looking at Baltimore, Texas, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. And if you move down to the National League, you have the Braves, who are still my favorite to win the World Series. You have the Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers all locked in. You have Philly, who is now locked in for the wild card. So it's down to the Diamondbacks at 84 and 74, who are actually separating themselves now. So really, they're probably in. You're looking at a 3-team race for that last wild card spot. It's currently held by the Cubs at 82 and 75, but you have the Marlins right behind them at 81 and 76, and Cincinnati right behind them at 81 and 77. So the National League's been more of a tight race than the American League, and so you still have the same 3 teams kind of battling it out right there. It's going to come down to the wire to see who makes it in, whether it's the Cubs, the Marlins, or the Reds. That's going to be a really close race to finish out this week. I think the last few games are Monday and Tuesday of next week, so we'll see what happens. But I know one thing: the Cubs, I believe, have a series to end the season against the Milwaukee Brewers, so they could potentially drop out their last. Well, they're playing the Braves right now in the series, so if the Braves beat them, that could drop them out and move the Marlins or the Reds up. So it's getting tough right now. It's getting real tough.
Yeah, it's getting pretty tough right here.
You still confident the Cubs are gonna make it in?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, you gonna walk that back for a minute?
No, never. They.
Still confident, huh?
Yes, I'm sorry to say this, but the Reds aren't gonna make it. I'm just telling you. Cubs are leading 3-1 against the
Yeah,
Reds.
but it's mid-third. It's only the third, buddy. My man Acuna and Olsen could break that wide open and bury the Cubs. It's only the third inning. We'll see what happens.
Let's see.
Who's due up? It's a tight race. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, especially in the NL.
Yeah.
Because right now, the American League, all their teams right now in the hunt besides the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
Right now eliminated.
The Marlins are winning right now against the Mets, but it's only the second inning, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Also, the Atlanta Braves have been 5-5 in their last 10, so
That is true.
they better figure something out.
They gotta figure nothing out.
'Cause
They're gonna bump the Cubs.
no,
It's
they're not.
game over.
I'm telling you, they're
They're
not.
bumping the Cubs.
No.
Marlins are 6-4 in their last 10, and the Cubs are 4-6. So
the Reds are
how
5-5.
how does that logic work, buddy? You sure you still want to go with that?
Yes.
Oh, the Marlins might bump them.
The Reds aren't going to bump them. I'm just telling you.
Well, I didn't say the Reds. I said the Marlins.
I'm just warning you. I'm just giving you a warning.
We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. That's actually got pretty close. It's a 3-team race, to be honest. 81-77, 81-76, and 82-75. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Also, the Milwaukee Brewers have clinched their division.
Oh yeah.
So looks like the Cubs or the Reds aren't getting that.
Nope. I could have told you that, but the Brewers are way ahead of them.
Yeah, they're like six games.
So the Marlins, just to throw this out there, have the game today, the second of their doubleheader today against the Mets. They lost the first game of the doubleheader. They have a game tomorrow against the Mets, and then finish up against the Pirates. And that's their last slate of games for September anyway. And let's they finished the season against the Pirates. So the Marlins have a good chance of getting a couple of wins here towards the end of the year. Let's see what the Cubs schedule looks like.
Yeah, they have the Mets, which is going to be easy. They have the Pirates, yeah.
This is the Cubs schedule. So they have the Braves. No, hold on. What do we got here? Oh, here we go. So they have the Mets. Oh, you look at the Marlins schedule. Where's the? Let's look at the Cubs schedule real quick.
Okay.
Let me pull up Cubs here. Let's see what they're looking at to end their season. So they're going to finish their season against the Braves. They got another game tomorrow against the Braves, and then they got 2 games against the Brewers, and then that's it. That's their season. They'll finish against the Brewers. So if the Milwaukee Brewers sweep them, and the Marlins can win theirs against the Pirates, the Marlins could very well bump them out of the wild card. You sure? You sure the Cubs are going to get in? You sure?
Have I told you enough times?
Let's see what the Reds finish as. Let's see what their schedule is. No, go ahead. You told me what?
Be quiet. We're crying out loud. The Cubs are going to make the playoffs.
We'll see. We will see. I don't think they're gonna make it.
Yes, they are. I'm just telling you, they are going to make the playoffs. The Reds have no chance. I'm just.
I didn't say the Reds. I said the Marlins will bump them.
The Marlins aren't gonna bump them. The Reds aren't gonna bump them. No one's gonna bump them.
So the Reds finished their season against the Cardinals. They have 2 games left.
Yeah, right now they're losing in the bottom of the 7th to the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep, they finished their season against the Cardinals. 3-game stretch against the Cardinals. So, if the Reds sweep the Cardinals, they could bump the Cubs out of the playoffs if the Cubs lose that series to the Brewers. Well, what do you think about that?
I just want to say.
Tell you what. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna change our bet. I'm gonna take the field, which would be the Reds and the Marlins, and you can have the Cubs for that last wild card spot. And we'll see who takes that last wild card spot, whether it's the Reds or the Marlins or the Cubs. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. The Marlins are not. I'm just telling you, Marlins are making the playoffs this year.
Cubs are going down.
Oh, they're not.
Anything can happen in baseball. We'll see what happens. The Cubs very well could win out and get in, or any of the other scenarios could happen. The Reds could win, the Marlins could win out, and the other two could lose. Baseball is funny like that. You never know what's going to happen in the last few games, but the Cubs are currently holding that wild card spot by the skin of their teeth. We'll see if somebody can take it away from them, or if they finish strong and they keep it and make the playoffs.
Yeah, but if the Cubs do make the playoffs, I think they're going to be dangerous, but I think they're only going to make the second round.
Dangerous? What's dangerous about the Cubs?
Have you seen the Cubs
lose? Yes. A lot.
Have you seen the Reds? Have you seen them? Look at them. They're only 4 days back from getting eliminated.
Yeah.
They're 81-77, Daddy. They're 81-77.
Huh.
Have you seen how they've been playing? We're about to lose to the Guardians.
So, funny enough, if everything falls the way that you're saying it will, with the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, the Milwaukee and Philadelphia all making it in, which they will right now, the Cubs would play the Milwaukee Brewers in the first round. And I'm pretty sure if you go back and look, Milwaukee won the season series against the Cubs. Pretty sure. Could be wrong. But
Let me check.
so my pick would be Milwaukee to win that series if that's the way it falls. Obviously, Braves and the Dodgers would get a first round bye. The other side, which is ridiculous, and I'm not sure how this works out, would be Minnesota and Houston playing each other, and Toronto and Tampa Bay playing each other. Which doesn't even make any sense. They're in the same division. And then the winner of that would play Baltimore, who's also in the same division.
Yeah, so it's just same division, so it doesn't.
But then again, Houston and Texas are in the same division. But anyway, so your Cubs would play the Milwaukee in the first round. So I don't think they get out of the first round if that's the way that everything falls. I don't think they're going to beat Milwaukee in the first round. Just don't. I don't think that'll happen. Let's see how they've. So last 2 games, they played. Against Milwaukee. No, they actually won 2 of them. So maybe they can get out of the first round. Not bad. Oh, nope. The Brewers won the season series. Anyway, we'll see what happens if everything falls that way. But that'll do it for our show for today. Don't forget, one more time, if you haven't been down there, try some of that Mac Daddy's barbecue and comfort food I'm telling you, it's good. Give it a try. Don't forget that you can download us on most podcast platforms, Samsung. You can get us on Apple Podcasts. You can get us on Spotify. You can get us on iHeartRadio, FM, several different platforms. If you are a YouTuber, you can always find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We post all our episodes there too. You can listen to them there. Or we have a Facebook page. First name Kevin, second name Quentin. You'll see our logo on there, Common Man's Take on Sports. We post our episodes there also, so you can find them in several different places. Or you can go to our website, kmisom podbean.com. And on that website, you can click the links and get to any of our podcast platforms or our Facebook page or our Instagram account. We thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you continue to listen. Please, if you listen to us, hit the subscribe button and follow us and like us and leave a review so we know how we're doing. We thank you again, and have a good night.